Hey everyone, welcome. It has been, feels like it's been a while since I've done one of these, but I don't think it actually has. So, yeah, hope everyone's doing great so far. Hopefully everyone's sales have been doing good. Mine are kind of in a slump, but that's just because I haven't been outsourcing as much as I would like to have been. But yeah, that's kind of expected. Looking for comments. I don't think it's been like forever since I've been doing this. But yeah, I guess leave a comment if you are here and where you're at so that I am not talking to myself. Hey Joss. Hey Blue. I always feel bad. I mean, I don't feel bad for the people who are watching it live, but I feel bad for the replays because it's got to be real weird in the beginning. I'm like, hey. Blue is in Florida. Lorna is in Minneapolis, DNR, California. Miss Event Guru. That's a nice name. Detroit. Got Tracy, Rebecca from Texas, Barry. Oh, thank you. Now I don't feel so like talking to myself in a room. So we have someone from Jamaica, Boca Raton, Florida. Pamela, how do you get started? Nicole, California, Lisa, Tampa, lots of Florida. Okay, so while there's so many of you from Florida, so I have my first meetup. It's coming up March 3rd and 4th. You can still join us. There is 2 events, so you can come to one or both or pick one, either one. So on the 3rd, we're going to be, well, the whole thing will be in St. Augustine. And I literally just saw like some Instagram posts about how St. Augustine is like the oldest city in the country. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. And they have white sand beaches. And so I picked that. So there was no rhyme or reason other than that I know there's a lot of Florida sellers. I just thought it might be local for people in Georgia, Alabama, or whatever can drive over. But anyway, so that's how I picked it. No rhyme or reason. So if you want me to do a meetup in your area, you got to like let me know where that's at. So anyways, March 3rd, we are going to be doing a sunset cruise in the evening. It sounds like it's going to be really great. And there may be dolphin sightings, so that's exciting. I've been watching the weather and it looks like it's still going to be good. And then on Saturday, March 4th, we will be at Salt Life Food Shack in St. Augustine Beach. So it's right across the street from the beach. And we'll be having a catered lunch there. So we put in the menu. I'm real excited about that. So it's just going to be, it's all super casual. There's no like, I mean, I guess I'm probably gonna have to say something, but like it's just like chill, relax, meet some people. Honestly, talking to other sellers is literally how I've grown my business. It's how I've learned things, like, which is why I'm so like encouraging of joining a community, no matter where that's at. Like finding people like you who are doing stuff like you, selling on Amazon. It really can help you learn and grow stuff. So like I'm sure you guys all know Becky. So she recently is trying to reprice her and it's been working out real good. And so I'm like, now I'm going to try a repricer, which is like a total 180 because I've usually totally against repricers, but I am going to try it. The problem with me in a repricer is that you have to set it up like really good so that you're not tanking prices. And in fact, this one is supposed to like increase your prices to make more profit for you. So that's why I was always against repricers, but they've come a long way since I've started selling. So I'm excited to try it out. TBD on that. But yeah. Jocelyn has dropped the meetup information. So I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but like if you ever have this is like, I don't know, it's probably above everyone. But anyways, if you have a redirect link, which is like if you go to yourselling-guide/meetup, it's redirecting you to the page for the meetup. If you ever see it in Facebook or on Instagram, I always do it, or I say, or on the link in my bio, because the redirect won't work if you're in Facebook or if you're in Instagram. So you got to go outside of those apps to actually use it. The same thing if you guys are in the BOLO group, like if you ever open the sheet for the BOLO group sheet in Facebook, you can't filter it. You have to like open it outside in a Google sheet. I'm just rambling at this point. So anyways, that's the meetup stuff. I'm going to go back through your comments. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the comment section. We talked about the meetup. So I look forward to seeing you guys there. I'm really excited to make new friends, talk to new sellers. Yeah, it should be a really good time. I'm excited to go to Florida, which is something I hardly ever say, but I could use some sunny weather. In this live, I'm going to be walking you through how to go about creating a listing. So, whether that's a brand new listing that you want to create or a bundle listing that you want to create, it's like super high level. And I'm not going to show you my screen in my cellaring. So, it's like a follow along thing. I'll have it going on my computer. And then if you are at your computer, you can also follow along. So just a warning that that's coming up. So if you want to do it or grab your laptop, of course, it'll be on the replay if you're watching somewhere where that is not available. So before that, I am going to go through your questions. Paige asks, how do you know about groceries to scan? There's so many. So for me, I always go to coffee and spices. And the reason is because I've found in the very beginning good coffee and good spices. So I tend to go in that direction. Like I'm always going using it like basically branch lead. I'm using that to like kind of direct where I want to go. I know that once was almost a year ago, probably in the BOLO group, someone shared a condiment in the BOLO group from Walmart. And so then I scanned that whole aisle of like, the mayonnaise and the ketchup and all that kind of stuff. And there was a lot of stuff there. So it's kind of like just pick, if you're just starting, just pick an aisle. Obviously not something that's more perishable. So you don't want to scan bread and stuff like that, but pick an aisle and just scan everything on it. The reason I'm always talking about the clearance aisle, which Walmart clearance has been amazing for all year so far. It's still every time I go to the same Walmart, there's like a new clearance. It's like they're constantly like putting more stuff out. But anyways, so the clearance aisle is a really good place to start because you can get a variety of different products. So you might have auto stuff, you might have like cell phone cases, you might have like cables and toys, and it's all in one aisle, making it a little easier. And then you figure out what you can sell and also what is worth it. And then you say, okay, I'm going to go. So maybe you find a phone case, but more on that in a second. And you're like, oh, I'm going to go scan phone stuff. Or you find auto parts and you're like, oh, I'm going to scan more auto parts or tools or whatever. The thing with cell phone stuff, cases are okay, but any kind of cable, like I would not recommend selling that at all. Even if you can sell it, it's almost always an instant IP because they're very protective of their different brands that they have. So just be careful with any kind of cell phone kind of cable-y type stuff because those are like almost always IPs. Big effing deals. How many people are in your BOLO group currently? I think it's like 202. I haven't like made note of it recently, but last I looked, that's how many it was. Crystal is in Las Vegas. I have been thinking about Nevada. Hey, Brian. Dover, Florida. Blue, how are you always selling if you're mobile? Okay. Someone else asked this question recently. That's a good point. So someone in one of the groups asked like what happens when you're on the move. So if you ever want to travel or you are traveling and you want to source, all you do, like you don't change anything in your Amazon account. Your Amazon account is like registered where it's registered. All you do is if you're doing FBM, I'll touch on that in a second, but if you're doing FBA, you just change your shipping from address to, I always picked the nearest UPS store because I figured it was safer if anything ever happened, and I never had it happen, but if anything like should show back up, it'd probably be safer having it to a UPS store where it took off from. So I always just pick the nearest one versus like a campground who they would be like, what is this box of stuff? And then not know what to do with it. So you just do that and then it'll pick the nearest warehouse to you and it's not a problem at all. When you are doing FBM, you have to be aware of your return address. So I don't know if you guys know this or noticed, but Amazon updated everything during Q4, the best time to update everything, right? So all of a sudden, because I have my address where I'm at right now, and then I have my address where my business is, and then it's like my mailbox and all that. And stuff was showing back up there, but I had it set to the return address to be here for quite some time. Amazon updated their return settings. So if you go into your settings and return settings now, it's actually going to have like different, if you have multiple addresses, this might just be a me thing, but if you have multiple addresses, it's like got a default one and it defaulted back to that, which is annoying because I have to pay for it to get shipped back here. So as long as you have your return setting, like your house or a box. So if you're going to travel in an RV, you're going to need, or like a lot, you're going to need it somewhere. So whether that's a PO box or a UPS box, somewhere where it can get sent back to, because your FBM returns, if they happen, there's not a whole lot. If they happen, they're going to go back to that return address. And so you need a place to do it. So obviously you don't want to, again, go into a campground. So it's really, I actually highly recommend travel sourcing. It's a business write-off. You get to see whatever you want to see. Like I am all about it. Even the meetups. If you want to come to the meetups, pay for your hotel. If you have to fly, if you get, your mileage, all that. It's an event. It's a business thing. So if you want to come, it's a business write-off. Obviously you have to like pay for part of it if you have to fly and travel, but it is a business perk of being an owner. So there's that. All that is the same for travel sourcing. Now, I never booked, again, not a tax expert. I never booked like hotels or not hotels, campgrounds and stuff under the business. I was just already traveling. So I never got into all that stuff. Sorry, I'm reading the comments. Can you add 2 different products into the same shipping box? Okay, Paige, I need to know if you're talking about FBA or FBM. I'm assuming FBA. And if that's the case, then it would be Amazon who's telling you. This actually came up in the beginner group today. So if you ever have a shipment that seems like it's going everywhere, like 3 products, 2 products, like everywhere, you can turn on inventory placements. It's in your FBA settings. So setting FBA settings. And then there's a thing at the very top, I think it is. There's the default. And then there's the inventory placement setting. If you check that, it is going to charge you a fee, but it should all go to less warehouses. But if you also want to make sure you're not doing a case pack shipment, because I've seen some people get in trouble with that. So I always do individual product shipments, not case pack shipments, because a case pack shipment is going to want like products all together. Oh, also, which I forgot, I need to comment that in the beginner group. If you're not doing FN SKU, if you're doing merchant barcodes, it's going to package it all weird because it needs a way to track your products to you. And so it does that through your shipments. But if you do FN SKUs, which is the labels you put on every product yourself for FBA, then in that case, it is going to be more likely to be all in one shipment. So mine, I'm in Oklahoma. Most of my stuff's been going to Dallas, but the last couple of shipments have been going to Memphis, which was weird. And then this last one was crazy. It was sitting outside waiting for the UPS pickup guy to come, and it was already live on Amazon, and it wasn't even there. It's not active. I mean, it's active, but it's not available. But that was weird. So Amazon's getting crazy. Yes. Lucky Charm. When would you suggest starting to sell swimsuits and pool items? So those kind of things actually will sell year round. So I recently got some bird feeders for clearance. Again, I'm all about the Walmart clearance right now. And I thought, okay, this is like a more spring summer thing, right? But I sent them in and they all sold like instantly. So that was nuts. I wasn't expecting them to sell for a while. I actually was gonna keep them in FBM them because that's how much I didn't think they were gonna sell, and they sold instantly. So people are buying stuff already. Like whenever you see it in store, start scanning it, because if you're in like the South where it's more warm, you're probably gonna have stuff Or if you're in the north and you get it and you're like, this is weird, it's snowing outside, there might be people in the south who don't have it. And so that's why they're going to order it. So I always recommend whenever, like swimsuits sell year round. I know because I buy them year round. So it just depends, like whenever you want to do it and whether you want to FBM it or FBA it because of like the FBA fees and it like traveling around. I've been FBMing way more than I ever have. I'm probably 50-50 or if not more FBM at the moment. I bought some stuff this morning when I was just at Walmart for a personal run and it all sold. And I have like $1,000 day, which is crazy because my sales have been bad. And it's all from stuff I listed FBM this morning that I got at Walmart. So I'm really all about FBM at the moment. Blue. Please talk about IP issues. TJ Maxx, and I don't have receipts. Okay, so IP at the moment, it's really weird. It's you either have to submit a plan of action and receipts, or there's a bunch of boxes now where you acknowledge you were wrong. It doesn't matter if you don't think you're wrong or not, just acknowledge it. And you check all the boxes and it'll go away off your account health like instantly. Or it might be the plan of action, in which case you just do the plan of action. If you're in any of my groups, the plan of action template is in there in the featured area. It's free. You just update it to do it yours. If you're not in the groups, I do offer it for sale. You would do your plan of action template, which is basically just telling Amazon everything they want to hear, and then you submit your receipts. I have a video. I don't know, Jocelyn, if you can grab it and link it, but it tells you how to submit your receipts. Basically, what I do is I scan them in, I do them in a Google Sheet, and I write the ASIN that goes to each one. It's Google Slides, I think it's called, and then I download it as a PDF. You can do it in Google Sheet too. And then I send that as my proof. Amazon, anytime you're talking to Amazon, you don't accept an answer you don't like. Might have to keep pushing. You might have to keep asking, keep submitting the same dang thing, but just keep going at it because that's unfortunately how it works on Amazon. But you can get the answer you want if you keep pushing. So that's what I would recommend. But always just if you get a counterfeit or an IP, if it has that acknowledge button and you go do that because it's off your account like instantly. If you have to do the plan of action way, it will like they'll say something like, okay, it'll come off in 180 days. And that's like that's what you want. But you'll still have that one on your account for a while, which is annoying. Chuck, the multi-channel fulfillment. So it's my understanding that that is for brands who sell, like, say I make a product and I sell it on my website. I can use Amazon to fulfill it. That's what I thought it was. So I would ask back what it is because that's my understanding of how that works. So it's weird that and even if they've included you in it, that doesn't mean you're necessarily using it, but just make sure they're not charging you anything for it if you're not using it. Oh, sorry. Back to living in an RV. Blue's asking where I store all my stuff. I store it. I have a little cabinet in the kitchen. It's like two like this. It doesn't take a lot of stuff actually to sell. And then I get my Amazon or my Walmart boxes when I need them. So every time I go out sourcing, I grab a bunch of large boxes. And then under the RV, there's a bay where I have them all. Doesn't actually, you don't have to hold a whole lot, which is why I can pack it all up in a suitcase and go. Cami asks when does sales slow down on Amazon? So it all depends on your products, but historically for retail in general, June is super slow. So if you're planning on taking time off or you want to go on vacation or something, June and July is a great time to go. When you get into July, it's starting to get into back to school, and then that's when it starts to it's up kick all the way into Q4. But June is real slow. So, I mean, obviously, if you have products like coffee and stuff that sell year round, you're going to be fine, but that's what you want to focus on in June because it will start to slow. And just don't give up in June, you guys. Q4 is right around the corner and it's worth it. Just take a step back, source less if you need to. Maria asked, does Amazon send out paper tax documents? I don't think so. I've only just had it in the where you download it and you can print it out in your tax document. If you didn't get it, there's another video I did. It's pretty recent on my queue there of income tax. So you want to pull either if you did get a 1099 or you didn't, you want to pull that report because it's going to break down all the fees you paid in shipping and referral fees, commissions, all that, and you want to take those deductions on your taxes. Dorkalicious. Glad you can catch a live. I'm glad you can too. That's awesome. Okay. I'm getting close to my walkthrough of the bundle for those of you who are here for that. Let's see. Is $1,500 a week sourcing seem like a lot to you? And how do you finance that with credit cards? So that seems like a good amount. That's probably what I might spend in a week if you're going every week. I have been in credit card debt in the past, so I'm always really hesitant to tell people to use a credit card. But whatever you're going to do, set aside that money, whether it's on a credit card or it's on your savings or something. Set aside that money and don't go over it because you do not want to go into debt for a business model that you're not totally familiar and comfortable with. So just make sure you're not going to go over a certain amount because you will make bad buys and they might cost you and you might pay for them for a while because they didn't sell or they got returned or they got kicked off Amazon for toy document or something. So all kind of things are going to happen. So always recommend going wide. So a lot of different products with like 3, 4, 5, 10 versus 1 or 2 products where you're going to go like 20, 24, or 60 on it because you can get really into trouble doing that. I always test buy everything. Even now, I will find something and I'll test buy it. The thing I sold this morning, or I got this morning, I have other like items that I have here, a lot of them that have not been selling like I thought they would. And so I only got I think I got 40 of the thing, which is, well, it's a pack. So it makes like 10 bundles or something. But I left a lot there. I still test buy because I have this other product sitting here that I need to either return to the store or do something with. So I'm always test buying everything still because you just never know. Now that it all sold, I'm probably going to go buy all that there is left, but you just got to be careful because you don't want to get in a situation where you are now having a bunch of stuff. Always return stuff to the store. Don't feel bad returning stuff to the store. If they have a return policy, use it. Like, you're not doing anything wrong. I returned a bunch of stuff. I tried to return. So I returned a bunch of Valentine's Day stuff the Friday before. I tried to do it before the holiday just so it's not, it's a little less weird. But if you have to do it afterwards, you have to do it. So yeah. Astra said, considering joining the BOLO group, but haven't found a single item that meets the criteria. You can keep scanning. So when you join, you have 2 weeks to share your first BOLO. After that, it's just one a calendar month. So I guess 2 weeks would put us into March, and then you'd be the next one in April. When you join the group, you're going to see what other people are sourcing, and it is probably going to help you. I've never really had anyone have any issues finding something. But if you're concerned about it, then you don't have to join. You can wait until you're ready for it. But that's what I found, that it actually helps you point into directions, either a new store, a new category, new aisle to source. Angela, if IP alert says that you could maybe get an IP, do avoid it. For some items, so I only use it for new items that I'm not sure about, but I do have some that I'm currently selling that IP alert says that it is bad or IP, and I haven't had any issues yet. Normally the big categories of IP are usually that cell phone electronic category and then beauty for whatever reason. So when I was sourcing a lot of high-end beauty last year, I was using it all the time. And if they said it was IP, I wasn't buying it because I was just too worried about buying it. But it's a software. It's user generated, so people send in what they've getting IPs. If you're in the BOLO group, I think it's in all my groups, but for sure in the BOLO group, I have a running spreadsheet that we have of different IPs that members have gotten. And so even that, like there's a difference between those letters that you get from a message that doesn't mean anything versus getting it from Amazon or getting it in your mail to your house, which is even weirder. So they're kind of, I categorize them in all different. So we don't know if someone said they got it for IP alert, if it's someone saying they got a message and it's that Jake Peterson or whatever from brand enforcement, blah, blah, blah. That's just a blanket template that you get. Like that doesn't mean anything. I've never, ever heard of anyone having anything happen when you get that. So if you ever get that customer message and it's like a brand, you do what you want, but I've never had anyone have any issues. But if you get it from Amazon, obviously it's real and it affects your account. So those are just different things to consider. Let's see. DNR said he took back, or they took back, sorry, 800 worth of Walmart. They don't care. Yeah, as long as you have the receipt, which the app is real great. I've recently got Walmart Plus, which you get like all these points, which I use to buy groceries for free, basically. But in Walmart Plus, it has all my receipts, which is awesome. So you just scan the product's barcode and then the receipt pulls up. Makes returns a lot easier. I don't have to keep track of all my receipts. Ben is asking about a review of my BOLO group, I think, but I haven't done a video of my BOLO group because that'd be me talking about it. I mean, I've done videos about it, but not a review of it. Sandy, how does one become involved with your groups? So I have like, so there's the BOLO group, which is the lead list group. So you can join it anytime you want to. It's open all the time. During Q4, there's the Q4 group that's just 4 months. And then there's, if you buy any of the ungating guides, those also have groups. So the toy group, the toy guide has a group and the Topical has a group. And those groups have grown just crazy. And it's like help you with ungating, but it's also just this community of sellers who are just chatting about all different things, Amazon all the time. If you are in the beginner course, if you take the beginner course, there is a group for that too. And so I'm in there all day answering questions from different students or members of the community who have questions. So those are the groups that I can think of. There's also the BOLO group. If you've been in the regular BOLO group 3 months, there's another RA100 group that you can join. It's like the level up group. But yeah, those are all my groups. Maria, is there a good season or time to buy stuff online? I don't know. I think anytime. I typically do more OA during Q4 for whatever reason. It's just like how I normally do it, but there's some sellers who do it year round. Okay, now we're gonna head to make a listing. So in your Seller Central account, let me log in. So you'll go to, it's now under catalog and add a product. And there used to be 3 things here, now there's only 2. But the first one says underneath where you would enter your UPC, I'm adding a product that's not sold on Amazon. So now it's going to take you to a category. So I meant to have something here that I could pretend to be. So my roommate Damien has like 4 Rubik's Cubes over there. So we'll say like, I don't even know what that is. A game. So I typed in game, if you want to follow along, literally just the word game. And then you'll see like board games, tabletop games, balance board games, sporting goods, inflatable bouncer, recreational ball, toys and games. So this category is going to matter. So it's the same way that when you're sourcing, if you're finding a product, a product that's under, it's a toy, but it's under sports and what is it, outdoors, versus a toy that's under like the toy category. So You want to make sure you're picking the category that you want that also fits the product, but the category does matter. I made a coffee bundle, I think it was. I've had a lot of bundles go sideways, but I made a coffee bundle and it was asking me after I created it, it was asking me like to tell it what kind of pillow it was. Like, is it a king or standard? And I'm like, it's not a pillow. So I don't know what happened there. But anyways, just pick the one that is like looks best for you. So I'm getting a little crazy down here. I'm just gonna go with the board game. Then you hit select over here. Is it a variation? I just always say no. I've never went around with the yes, in which case you could add different colors and all that. Never done that. So item name. Now, this does matter. So the same way that you know how Amazon names are crazy compared to like a name of a product on Target, it's because it's using all those words to search. It's those keywords that are going to come up when a customer searches, but you don't want it to be super crazy. So one example I did a Starbucks bundle. I got adventurous and I bought a couple of like the holiday K cups and I think it was like gingerbread. And my idea was that I was going to create a bundle of those. Starbucks, the word is like flagged as potential, I think it's called potential trademark or something. I literally gave myself, because I did a Sonic toy, I did Sonic the Hedgehog, I did Starbucks, and I think I did another one that actually worked. I gave myself 2 potential IPs right off the bat. So it shows up in your account. It's not like a IP where you would have to like submit your stuff. It's called potential, which aren't as bad, but it is bad. So the listing got pulled. Spent all that time creating this listing and it just got pulled. So there are some, so just know that Starbucks and Sonic the Hedgehog. That's why if you ever searching bundles, when you're sourcing, they have kind of funky names. Like I'm selling a medicine that doesn't have the name, the brand of the name in the title, but you can tell what it is. So that's one thing that people are doing workarounds for. So just keep that in mind. So I think Rubik's Cube's a bad one because I don't know anything about it. But let's say it's like a plush, or I know you could say set of 3. Set of 3 Rubik's Cubes with bonus plush dice. You know those fuzzy dice? Hey, why not? I just top of my head thought of it. So whenever you're creating a bundle, you do kind of want to have something that makes it. You could do that. You don't have to create a bundle. You can create a single product, but I'm just talking bundles because that's what I'm working on. Product that makes it a little different that other sellers can't easily find. Because we all know what happens when other sellers easily find stuff, it all tanks in price. So you want to keep it like that. Now, you could say, you can do those little like a line, you could do a comma, you could do a period, a colon, whatever you want. And then you can add more to your title. So maybe I want to say it's great for graduation gifts or great for parties, or add these as party favors to your next gathering. You can add those kind of things in the title. I like to just kind of keep it simple. Other thing, wherever you got the product, or even if you didn't get it from somewhere, like I always search for it online outside of Amazon. And I'll pull the information from that listing. You don't want it to be exact because it can get flagged. The photos can get flagged. If you use the exact same words, it can get flagged. So you want to, what is it? You don't want to, what's that thing where you can't copy it exactly? It's like P, right on the tip of my, you don't want to copy it exactly. Plagiarize, that's what it is. You don't want to plagiarize. So because it will, Amazon will pick that up. So you want to be really careful. You do want to take your own photos, or at least make your own photos. I'll get into that in a second. So now you just do the title. So all you do on this title on this one. The next one, brand name. You click this box here that says this product does not have a brand name. It's going to do it generic. That's why you've probably seen a lot of bundles out there with generic, or products with generic. That's what this is. UPC, you click, I don't have a product ID. And now I should have picked something other than toy, but it did pop up there for a second. It says a GTIN exemption is required. You want to hit apply now to that. And when you hit apply now, it's going to take you to another screen where you're going to select that you want to sell in toys for generic. And it'll look like you're ungating. It'll say auto approved. So I've already done it for toys because I'm already selling toys, and I've done it for grocery and I think one other thing. So if I were to cancel this, let me do like a sporting goods catalog, add a product. I'm selling something not sold on Amazon. It's going to try and take me back to what I was doing. I'll just hit discard. What's a sporting goods? Tennis racket. So sports and outdoors, tennis racket. Select this. This is my lovely product. My product does not have a brand, and my product does not have a ID. And then again, you'll see that little button pop up. It's not letting me do it. But anyway, so that's your first step. Now, after you do that part, you're going to hit continue, and it'll take you into the next screen, which is like if you're listing a product, or if you've ever needed to update a product, you're going to see the vital info, the offer, the details, variations, safety compliances, and shipping. So it has these red dots on anything that need. So you have to do the product description. Again, this is where I would just copy and change what's out there on the web already. Add stuff. Maybe you find it on Target, Walmart, Kohl's, like wherever they happen to have that product, and just kind of zhuzh up from the different areas and make it your own. But you do want to make it your own, and you want to be careful of any of the brand names. Also, what I learned through doing this is I write everything in a note. You could do it in a Google Doc now, just in case it gets pulled down and you spent all that time writing all your copy and now it got pulled down, so that you can change whatever it was. Because the Sonic one, it was Sonic the Hedgehog that got flagged right away. And then I listed it as Sonic only. I took the Hedgehog part off. And that one was live for a while, and then that got pulled down too. So just make sure you have everything in case you want to try and list it again. But asking for that, so you want to make sure you write that it doesn't have a product or a brand, and it doesn't have a product identifier. And I want to shout out, I think it was Anna B from the Q4 group, I think, or maybe it was one of the elite BOLO groups that I used to have, who helped me do that in the beginning. So thank you. That's what I'm talking about. Talking to other sellers is really, really important to growing and learning different things on Amazon. So that was something I was taught. So hopefully, I just made it go everywhere. That helps you guys. Okay. Any questions about that part? Yeah, I stepped away from the chat for a second. Okay, I'm going back to your questions. Hold on. In Q4, I have no idea what stores give best discounts. I don't think it's any different than the rest of the year. There's just more stuff that's selling. The RA group is great. Now so in the beginner course, there's a hangout tomorrow, and then in the RA 100, there's a hangout on Thursday. So we have monthly hangouts there. Ben asked what percentage of the bolos are OA versus RA. They're mostly RA, but there are some OA leads in there. Oh, Jay, what do you do if a customer returns the wrong item? So I actually just filmed a video on this. I've gotten a lot of wrong items returned. So The craziest one was a pair of jeans. I sold underwear and I got a pair of jeans back. Um, if if it comes back as an FBM order, that was the wrong thing returned, then you would file a safety claim. If it comes back as an FBA, customer damage, I always ask for them back because they're almost always 100% sellable. So I would just sell them again or send them back in with Amazon. But when I get those back, those are the ones I've been getting back that are the wrong one. So one underwear was a pair of jeans, another underwear was a completely different, actually two were completely different underwear that I got back. My most recent one that I did the video on, it was a really expensive moisturizer that someone took it, put a different one in. It wasn't even like it was empty. It's not, that was the weirdest thing. It was just a completely different brand. And so for those, you have to actually open a ticket. It's not a safety claim. So you open a ticket, just like a regular help ticket, and you say, hey, this is what I sold, and this is not what got sent back. It's a little tricky because you need to have the box it came in that Amazon sent it back, plus that little piece of paper that comes with it. And then you have to look up the order, like the return order where you ask for it back in your transactions. It's real confusing and real hard, but I sat down and did a bunch of them. And they gave me, you get reimbursed for it right away. Sometimes they do it right away. Sometimes they're like, we need more information. And it's literally the information you sent to them in the first place. So I just resend it. But yeah, you can get your money back if they return the wrong thing. So definitely make sure you're doing that. Oh, the photos. Okay, thank you. Please ask any questions because I'm sure that I skipped over a bunch of stuff. So, what I do for the photos is some of them I take them on my own. Now, if you didn't know this, if you use Apple phone, Jocelyn told me this, you can actually like hold down. I don't know if it just works for people or if it works for products, but if it's for you, for example, you can hold on it and it'll like cut you out of the photo. So I think it might work for that. I use Canva because it has a background remover, and Canva is they are free, and then it's also a little bit paid. I'm on the paid one and I don't know which one, but you can use that. There's a ton of apps because people use these to sell on other platforms, which will remove the background out of photos. I'm sure some are better than the others. And then they'll put them on white. So I use Canva. I either take the photo myself. I actually got replica surfaces, which I don't necessarily recommend. They were way too expensive, and they probably have just as good ones on Amazon. But I have like a white one, and then I have like a wood floor looking one. So I can set it on there and take the photo of it. And then I put it over in Canva to remove the background out of it. For one bundle, I just pulled photos. So I tried to do a coffee bundle. I think it was Dunkin' Donuts, like holiday blends. I tried to make that bundle. It didn't work out. And I just pulled the images from Target, put them in Canva, removed the background, and had them together like this. So there's all different ways. You don't actually have to take a physical product photo if they're already out there, and you definitely don't need to pay anyone to do it. You can just do it yourself, or you can pay someone if you want. But there's so many apps for eBay right now, like that help do that. So you don't necessarily have to spend money. So when you're doing, let me go back over to Amazon. When you're doing you want to make sure you add the bullet points, which they don't have to be long. And I know if you've seen like where professional Amazon people will do it for their products, they're like big old bold like things. They just need to have the words that people are going to be searching. So you can add those in your keywords. You go through all the little things. So the offer, it wants to know, just like if you're creating a listing, right? What are you going to list it for? Is it new? You create your SKU there. The product details, anything with the little asterisk, you're going to have to fill in. A lot of the times, I've been getting stuff from Target. On Target's website, it'll tell you like where it's from, or if you have the product with you, it'll be on there somewhere, and you can put like China or wherever it was made. I've not had any issues with toy compliance documents yet. I'm still pretty new at creating bundles, so still learning, but it could happen. I can't screen share because you guys don't even know how much a pain it is to like block stuff out when I'm editing a video where I have control, so I'm really not going to do it on a live. Sorry. Oh, this is a good tip. Astra. Putting a space or deleting one could also be a good workaround for the brand's names. Yeah, I have seen that where you can like um Starbucks or something like that. I just want it to not look for me, I don't want it to look crazy to the customer, but you want it to like get around Amazon flagging it. So if you see generic as a brand name, can you sell them? Yes, but there is the weird glitch that's going on, which is kind of awesome time to make a bundle right now, where if you've got that big old block that's like there's an error code, blah blah blah, send this message to Seller Central. So that's why there's some bundles where there's only one seller on it. Now, the real way you want to do this, and the real way I'm going to plan to do this, is you have to get a trademark from the US, which is not actually all that difficult to do. And then you register your brand as a name, and now you have like full control. So there, you've probably seen them all over. I know there's a lot of Easter candy out there right now with the guy who has a little thing that said, or a girl, I don't know who they are, has a little thing that says, I love candy or something. It's like sticker that comes with it, something dumb, but it's registered to them, so no one else can sell on it. So that's the real way. And that, again, that's the way I'm moving to, but I'm testing out bundles and creating stuff with this generic workaround way, because why not? So just know that like there's a real way that you can do it. And if you really want to grow your business and go that way. Uh, How do you change a photo? So if you can't make any changes to a product unless you have it listed in your inventory. So that's the first thing. Even if you just listed FBM and you put it at a crazy high price that it's not going to sell, but obviously it's not going to trigger Amazon, but that it won't sell. And then you can, once it's in your inventory, you in your manage inventory, click on the photo of the product and it'll open up the same screen that we were just on with adding our own listing. And you can update the image there. Most likely, it's not going to take it. After like a day, then you can go and open a help ticket and ask them to update it for you. Anytime you make a product change, I gotta drink water. Anytime you make a change to a product, like I was selling something that had a count of this and the new one is not that count anymore, and I was trying to change it, it might not actually take it, and you'd have to open a help ticket to have Amazon do it. So if it doesn't work when you did it, yeah. Philip asked if I use Brickseek. I don't use Brickseek. I know that a lot of people use the free version. Oops, I popped it up twice. I have only heard that it is not very reliable. So I mean it there's using it like in conjunction. I'm already going to this Walmart anyways, or should I go to that Walmart that I'm in that area of anyways? But I've just heard it's not reliable, so I don't personally use it. Also, if you didn't know about the Walmart Plus app, first of all, pay for the subscription with your business credit card, and then buy the groceries for free. But it like if you Becky told me this one. So it you know how when you scan it, it won't always come up with the price in store. It'll say sold out sometimes, or you'll have the wrong price. If you go in like you're gonna scan and go, so you go to store mode and you click scan and go, then all of a sudden it has the price there. So that's just one hack to getting the right price when you're sourcing at Walmart. Any tips on store closures? So Tuesday mornings is going again into bankruptcy, but they're not all closing. So there is a list out there somewhere. Becky sent me the ones by me. I don't know where the list was exactly, but just I would Google to see if ones by you are closing. Someone on my Instagram told me it's closing like March, sometime in March. So I don't know how fast they're gonna work, but you definitely want to check those out and see what they have because it'll be good markdowns. But whenever that happens, whatever they're not going to sell. So if you didn't know what happens when a store closes, in my earlier career, I've been through a couple store closes. They sell it all to like a liquidator people. So what is going to probably happen is that this stuff, if they don't sell it to you as a customer, is going to show up at different liquidation places. So it might be your local mom and pop liquidator, which I highly recommend going to, not a bin store, but like a liquidator, like a an Ollie's, but like a local one. They might start showing up at Ross or like TJ Maxx. So keep an eye out, even if you don't have a Tuesday morning by you, they might start getting the stuff. Although it's not going to be as discounted as if you have a TJ Maxx by you. I mean, a Tuesday morning. Maria, what did I do with the wrong item when Amazon refunded me? I threw it away. I think I gave the jeans away to someone. Another thing, this is why you got to talk to other sellers, that Becky recently told me is that you should be doing a safety claim for every Amazon FBM, so it's only FBM return that you get if it's not sellable. So if you had to charge a restocking fee, you can do a safety claim and get your restocking fee, that other part of it back. So you can get your money back. So if they used all the product or they used some of the product and in any way it was not sellable, you can get your money back with a safety claim. Now, the ones I tried to do it on were what were they? FBA return, so I couldn't actually do it. And say hi. Hey, thank you. Oh yeah, you have to like subscribe to be able to comment. My first live was wild. There was like someone else trying to troll my comments. It was crazy. So I had to figure out how to turn on the subscribe. So if you're gonna troll my comments, at least you can subscribe. Okay, what else? Do people really go for bundles? Yes. It is. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, just like not even a bundle you make, but you can sell, let's say, a napkin, a single napkin or pack or whatever for $5, or you can get this bundle of 2 for 20. Like people really will do that and pay for it. They might not notice it, or they need 2 and they don't notice the price. There's all different reasons, and people, especially during Q4. Now, my bundle has really not been selling as great for the rest of the year since Q4, but during Q4 it was hot. So it's like people were throwing money around during Q4. So I would honestly, if there's anything you want to learn or try with your Amazon business, you might as well take like now through June when it starts to slow down. It's not slow right now, but it will slow down in June, and learn and try these things so that you're ready to go for Q4 and you're like ready to go. So like think of what products, like think ahead. These are things I've always wanted to do, but because we're moving around and I don't have any room, I don't have my shop yet, like I couldn't do these things. But back to school things, there's all different things that I've been wanting to do with my business that I'm just now going to be able to do. But when you're buying back to school stuff, if you're a buyer for a retail store, you're buying it like now or like during holiday season. So you have to kind of think like that. You have to backstep your planning like a real retailer, because you need to know what you're going to do for the rest of the year. So learn everything you want to learn and like execute for Q4. So if you're trying to get ungated this year, you might as well get ungated now while you can before Q4 hits. Like all these different things that you want to do or grow with your business. If there's something you want to learn, if you're trying to do a repricer, now's a great time to learn it. That's what I'm going to do. If you want to learn like tactical arbitrage and online arbitrage, another great time to learn it. Like now is really the time to like dig in, and that's what I've been doing. I've been digging in. I'm going to do the repricer. I've been like managing all the like desk stuff that you just never really have time to do when you're doing everything else with your business. So let's see. One of my orders says blue business customer. What does that mean? So it's someone that has a business account on Amazon. Instead of like you have a shopping account as a customer, they have it as a business. And it means that they're invoiced. So they get 30 days to pay for it, really. So it doesn't really affect you, and except for that you're not going to get your money for 30 days, but it's really like maybe like one a day, maybe. Like it's not a real big deal in the grand scheme of things, but that's all it means, is they just have a business selling account. It's funny because there's almost always toys that they're buying from me. But that's it. Yeah, they're just going to get invoiced by Amazon as a business. So your money might take a little bit longer. Do we have a deadline for safety claims? I don't honestly know. That's a good question. I'd have to search it in Seller Central. Kathy, do you have any recommendations for getting seller reviews? So you can get a friend. This is real, like, do it at your own risk, okay? You can get a friend who has no affiliation with you, your address, anything at all, and to order it, order something from you and write you a review. Uh, the also the better way to do it is when you're in your orders, there's a way to I can't let me go back to my thing. There's a way to ask for a review. Let me see. In your orders, FBA in your orders. So if you click into an order, at the very top above where the ship to box is, it says refund order or request review. You can do that and request a review. There are some Amazon customers who opt out of getting any kind of solicitations or messages or anything like that. So some might not work. You want to make sure that it was a good order, right? Like there's so you have to be careful. Like I wouldn't have done it during Christmas when everyone's kind of just grumpy already, but like now is probably a safe time. So you can hit request review on a couple of your orders. The thing is though that you're asking for it, so it could be good or bad. If it's a bad review and it is talking about the product, the price, basically all they can really review is you as a seller, which if you're doing FBA is like there's very little to review you as a seller, right? Because Amazon's taking over the shipping and the customer service part. So it is kind of safe to do them for that. But like if you sent the wrong product and it was like different ounces or something, and the customer might have noticed and been mad, you just want to make sure you're not doing that. But you can get most FBA bad reviews off as long as there was nothing wrong with you as a seller in it. Jay, how do you deal with sales tax? So if you can get a sales tax exempt license from your state I think has to have sales, like I don't know how you would get it in Oregon, but and then you just take your sales tax exempt with you wherever you're sourcing. I have heard talks that Marshalls and TJ Maxx are about to like not let you do it out of state, but I have not had that issue yet because mine I've literally I don't know if I've ever used mine in the state that it came from, but I've used it all over the U.S. So there is like that part. I've heard the talks about that, but anytime there's like rumors of things happening, I just wait till it happens because it's I can't do anything with it until it happens. But you would just get your license and then you would head out and use it when you're sourcing. At Walmart, you go to the customer service desk and they'll give you a little card. It's like a piece of paper that they write on with they'll input your information. And then now you have that card and you have to give it to the cashier when you're checking out, always before they start ringing everything up. Otherwise, they're going to have to cancel it out and redo everything. So, but at TJ Maxx and Marshalls and all of that, they do it afterwards. So when it comes time to file it, it's actually really easy now that Missouri got on board. So Amazon, for Amazon only, I don't know what eBay and all them do. So as far as Amazon selling, Amazon remits all the sales tax to the states for you. So you don't actually have to do anything. And when you go to file your tax, when you sign up for your letter or your certificate, they're going to tell you when you need to file. Some months are, I don't know if there's any that are monthly, but they might be quarterly, semi-annual, like twice annually, or just annually if you're like a littler state. I think my Minnesota one was like once a year. And so you would file it and you would just file 0. I always recommend, because I had to call one of the states, can't remember. This was back when you used to have them for all the different states that you had Nexus in, which is not a thing anymore, thank God. But I used to call the states when I had questions. They are so helpful. It's not like this big thing like you might think it is. The only state I hate is Florida. But They're real helpful. They'll tell you, like, what to do and how to fill it out. I always recommend TaxJar because they just have a ton of information. But yeah, so you would just fill it out. It's actually pretty easy. It's not nearly as, like, confusing as you might think it is, like, once you sit down and do it. So I highly recommend just hopping on the phone with them. Mm, do I use brand names for your bundle? I do for some. Well, I started out with all of them, and then I noticed some got down. So I don't know, and I don't even know if there's a list out there of like protected brand names on Amazon because it's weird because I can sell Starbucks, but I can't create a listing with Starbucks in the name. So I don't really know how it works. Um, but it's like trial and error. I just tried it, and some of them worked, and some of them didn't. Any other last minute questions? I know there was another one about IP. I mean, it's you can just for if you get an IP complaint, go to your account dashboard, hit appeal, and either acknowledge it or submit your plan of action. Again, those aren't even like as bad as scary. As long as you're taking action with them, there's nothing like to be worried about. And now it's even easier the way they just come off. So what happens is you get shut down if you don't do anything. So if Amazon issued an IP or a counterfeit, make sure you're taking action on it. Otherwise, you could get shut down. I didn't know this because that happened to me in my first year. Didn't know you had to do that. Did I register my store with Amazon registry? I did not because I don't have a brand trademarked or anything. So if you do have that, then that's when you would want to do that. When you see yeah, you can sell if it lets you sell. Am I going to the old ones? No. Sorry. If it lets you sell it, you can sell it. Yes. I always look if there's across all the board, no matter what the brand is, I look if there's other sellers on it. If there's only one seller on it, it may be you might get that glitch. Like I still have these friggin' Harry and David blueberry chocolate covered blueberry things that I got that generic glitch and Amazon support was like, huh, what? We can't help you with that. So I still have them. I need to donate them. When would sales rank be irrelevant? I don't think it's ever irrelevant. And I mean, if it's a really go low rank, then I don't really consider it because it means it sells. But yeah. Okay. So hopefully that like quick because that's why I haven't done a whole video on like how to make a listing because it's not really like all that and like I need a specific thing to create. Like it's not all that complicated once you know that you can do the main hookup, hang up, whatever that I had was that I thought you had to have a UPC. And when you put in a UPC, it would like say, no, that's already existing, and then it wouldn't let you list the product. So now that I figured that out, thank you to Anna, now it has been rocking and rolling, and I'm like ready to create more bundles. I actually have stuff that I took photos of, and I just need to sit down and type in all the stuff. So I'm excited to do that. How did I decide what to put in the bundles? So I just thought I'm gonna try this. Like there was no like that might be a good bundle. It's like based off of what you see out there. So like during Q4, there was like the Hershey's Kisses bundles, like a million of them, right? There's like the 4-pack, the 3-pack, the 6-pack. And it's just things like that that you see, like, okay, I'll do a shampoo and conditioner. So you can kind of pick whatever. If you want to get something more obscure to add to it to keep it more locked down, you can, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to. Most of the people who are adding the little sticker are people who already have their brand registered anyway, so that's kind of not necessary to add that, but yeah. When you create a bundle, yes. Amazon Assign will create the ASIN for it. Have I tried wholesaling? Um, so I tried it in all like all in, like I wasn't really sourcing, I was going in all in. The thing is that and I spent ridiculous money on a course that was like the most money I've ever wasted. Um the thing with wholesaling is absolutely if you want to try it, do it. Now brands are smart with Amazon, whereas back in before when these people who created the course and were selling the course, brands were not as smart with Amazon, so they would let you sell on Amazon. Now, I don't know if you've ever asked or tried to find a supplier, but most people will tell you that you cannot sell it on Amazon or you cannot only sell it on Amazon. You have to have a brick and mortar location also. So that's the problem. And that's what I was running into. Like, even my roommate at the time was helping me. We were calling people, trying to get like sources. So, direct to the brands, I mean, it's a lot of work. And if you want to put in it, do it. I think I mean, I've been ordering pallets. I've done 3 now of toys from a distributor, and I like doing that, but even that is like I'm making more money at retail arbitrage and creating my own bundle listings than I am doing that. But it is something I want to keep growing and doing. I don't know if I'll ever go direct wholesale, like direct from a brand or manufacturer versus just figuring out where I can get it from a distributor, which normally if you're selling one-to-one, like this coffee and Amazon, is probably the same price as a distributor. But what happens if you can make a bundle out of it? That's where I'm probably going to go versus straight wholesaling. But at the moment, besides those pallets, I'm mostly making money. I am going to do a breakdown of the pallet, like, because I made some bad buys. Bad buys. In Florida, the one-on-one sourcing is an hour. So it's just oh, hey Becky. So it's an hour. There's like a shopping center. We'll pick a store that you want to go to, and we can go. You can ask me whatever, but we'll be sourcing there. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Hopefully I get to see some of you in Florida. The next meetup will be in May, probably in Michigan, possibly Indiana. Still TBD on that. But yeah, I'll be back here again for another live in March. And if you are in either the beginner course or the RA100 group, I will see you later this week in those groups. So thanks, guys. Have a great evening and hopefully good sourcing this week.